Welcome to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Basics podcast, a lifestyle podcast with a magical twist. I'm your host, Caitlin May, and I'm a self-proclaimed Disney adult and childless millennial who is obsessed with Harry Potter, Florida Sunshine, and all things basic. Here on the podcast, I chat weekly about everything Disney, Harry Potter, theme park news, and navigating my basic late 20s life. Magical Basics, and welcome back to the pod. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. It's been extremely chilly in Florida lately, and I'm missing our signature sunshine right about now. But we would love to know what the weather is like where you live, so reach out to us on our social media. But for today's episode, our guest is a new Orlando friend of mine, and I'm so excited for y'all to meet her. But first, here is the Bibbidi Bobbidi broadcast. Our top news story of the week will come at no shock to you. These little babies broke the Disney community a couple weeks ago. The FIGMENT popcorn buckets are completely sold out at this time, and currently there is no news about a restock, but follow along on our social media for updates later. We have a lot of things coming to Walt Disney World this year to look forward to, but it was just announced that we can add another thing to that list. A new table service location in Andy's backyard will be opening this year. ROUNDUP RODEO Barbecue was originally set to open in 2020, but the pandemic pushed back the production. An exact opening date for this year has not been shared yet. ROUNDUP RODEO Barbecue isn't the only new place coming to Andy's backyard. A new shop called JESSIE'S Trading Post will be opening soon. It will be full of the coolest toys and finest souvenirs handpicked by the rootinest tootinest cowgirl, and we will have more updates to come when everything is released. Lots of news from Hollywood studios this week, and this story is from our favorite galaxy far, far away. There is a new popcorn flavor available in Galaxy's Edge, but you must know a secret catchphrase to ask for it. So if you're visiting the Outer Rim anytime soon and you're a big popcorn lover, listen up. While you're visiting Batuu, if you're wanting a snack, head over to Katsaka's Kettle and ask them, "Have you seen a mouse?" No, we aren't talking about Mickey Mouse. We're talking about an MSE6 mouse droid. Your special mix will be coming in a droid-like container bucket, and this special flavor will only last through February, so snag it while you can. Last year, you might remember the Minnie's Main Attraction series that Disney did with exclusive merch. Well, this year, it's dedicated to the mouse himself. Mickey's Main Attraction will be on sale this month, and we got a sneak peek at the first design. The first design is a Space Mountain design in silvers and purples, and it includes a Mickey plush, a pin, a Loungefly backpack, and a magic key, and a new pair of ears. Each design will be released the last Friday of every month. We have dates for Dapper Day. This year, there will be several times to celebrate Dapper Day, so let's get started in Disneyland. The weekend of April 23rd and 24th, Dapper Day will be at the Disneyland Hotel with an expo and their usual spring outing. Moving to Walt Disney World, April 30th at Epcot for the Flower and Garden Festival. We'll be out in time to celebrate here on the East Coast, and the second Dapper Day event will be on May 1st at Disney's Hollywood Studios. If you can't make those dates work, the fall Disneyland outing will be November 6th. And the last bit of Disney news that we have this week is everything coming to Disney Plus in the month of February. How in the world are we talking about February already? Some of the main titles to look forward to include more episodes of The Book of Boba Fett, Eternals, Free Guy, and a Proud Family reboot. So click the link in our show notes for more information. Well, that was everything for the broadcast this week, so be sure to leave us a rate and review if you're enjoying Season 3, and reach out to us if you or someone you know wants to be a guest. We would love to have you. For this week's guest, we have Rachel here with us, and I think you are going to love her episode. You'll be hearing all things about her time as a character attendant right after a word from our sponsor. Hello, Magical Basics. Have you been thinking about starting your own podcast, but you don't really know where to begin? I completely understand, because when Bibbidi Bobbidi Basics first launched, I felt the same exact way. Thank goodness I had Anchor to help me. If you've never heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. I know what you're thinking. Katie, is it really that easy? Oh, it is. So let me tell you how. First, it's completely free. We love that. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's literally everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you so much to Anchor for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys, today's guest is so exciting. She is one of my new Disney friends here in Orlando, and I'm so excited that Rachel is here with us today on the pod. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I love podcasts.
Oh, yay. I love that. So Rachel and I became Instagram friends. And then you put on your story that you wanted to do like a fun princess collab. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's like weird to say like I want to do it or not.
No.
Because it's so hard to make friends when you're old.
Literally.
Like in a new city.
Especially.
Where you don't know anyone.
Same. Yep. Literally same.
So I was like, is this the like sign that I was looking for to like reach out to people? So I was like, you know what? Just do it. Like,
I love it.
Just do it. So we hung out at the parks with Allie and AJ, which Allie is amazing. AJ. Yeah, I was about to say, which is amazing because Allie and AJ.
Yes.
But it was so fun. Our princess reel did so bomb.
It
on
popped
all
off.
Of our socials.
I know. We were even getting some hate. I was like, am I famous enough for this? I'm not.
That's when you know that you've semi-made it. Literally. Is when people start hating you on the internet. Like, you're like,
yep. They were like, oh, there goes the Disney adult.
Am I better than everyone? That like TikTok sound.
Literally.
Am I better than everyone else?
Yes. Yes. I have a hater, and that makes me special.
One singular hater, and I have made it on my corner of the internet.
Shout out to whoever was hating on us.
Yeah. We want to send you a muffin basket.
Not the muffin basket.
So yeah, it did super well on, I really do think all of ours.
Yeah.
Like, my TikTok has like 16K. Your reel did really well.
Yeah.
And AJ's, she was the first one to post it, and it blew up on hers too. And I still like get notifications
from it, and I'm like, oh hey.
Same. I'm like, yes, girl, circulate the internet.
Yes. Stepmommy issues. Oh, that was great.
It was such a fun day. So yeah, it's been super fun to be making more friends. And
I know. Yeah, it's great.
Now it's fun to have you as a friend too. And now you're on the pod.
I'm so excited. I feel so a fish.
Oh, so a fish. So I would love for you to tell our magical basics out there just a little bit more about you. Who is Rachel?
Yeah, so my name is Rachel, otherwise known as Rach Punzel over on Instagram, and I am a Florida transplant, like a lot of us here in the Disney community. I feel like we all just flock to this little hub here. Mm-hmm. I was born and raised outside of Boston, and could not deal with the cold anymore. And I also missed Orlando dearly. I did the DCP in 2018, and ever since then I've been itching to get back. I wanted to finish school, and then COVID kind of just threw a wrench, but I did it, and we're back, and we're better than ever.
That's right. I love that. So obviously you did the DCP, you're on this podcast, you're a very big Disney and Harry Potter fan. I would love to know your Hogwarts house.
I am a Ravenclaw.
That's right. That's right.
Ravenclaw queens only.
Ravenclaws. I have noticed since starting this season of the pod that I have like subconsciously surrounded myself with Hufflepuffs. And I don't think a single guest yet has been a Ravenclaw.
I know. My roommate's a Hufflepuff. She's my, like, designated Hufflepuff.
She is my Hufflepuff buddy. Yep. My sister is a Hufflepuff. I think let's see, we've done like 12 episodes of this season already, and I think you and one other person were not Hufflepuffs.
Well, dang.
I know, right? And the other
Hufflepuffs
person was a
coming.
Slytherin. I know.
Oh my goodness.
The Hufflepuffs are coming for their time.
They
for their
really
moment.
Are. Dang.
Yeah,
good
they
for
really
them.
are. I know. That's what I think so too. Love Hufflepuffs. But I'm very happy to have a Ravenclaw here.
Happy
on
to
the
be
pod,
here.
Finally. Ravenclaw pride. So tell me about that. Do you think Ravenclaw is like accurate to you, or do you feel like you should be something else?
Oh no, I'm like a true Ravenclaw through and through. Like, first of all, I'm an Aquarius with a Virgo rising, so I'm like, okay, that's like the astrology version of a Ravenclaw.
Yep.
And then I'm a 4-wing-3, which is like the Enneagram version of a Ravenclaw.
Yes, I did not know that about you.
Yeah. We gotta love the 4s.
Oh my gosh, we have to. We're like the
quirky little things.
The one that is spiraling the most out of the
The 4s are not doing well.
Check on your 4 friends, people.
All you 1s out there, you need to start taking care of your 4s.
John's a 1.
Well, there you go.
When we took the Enneagram test, he was like, oh, this is interesting. It says, at my worst, I'm a 4. What do they do? And I was like, oh no, I'm a 4.
They're me. That's like, what they do.
Cool. At your worst, you're me. This is awesome.
Yeah, Ravenclaw's pretty accurate. Also, like, especially like when I was in elementary school, like, I wasn't really exposed to the Harry Potter stuff when I was young, but if I had known who Hermione Granger was when I was in elementary school, that would have been my entire personality. So, like, let's say it's a good thing that
you were unaware of the Harry Potter.
It would not have been good for anyone involved.
Why did your parents not let you read them?
No. So my grandmother actually bought me like all the books, and I had like no interest in them. I was a Narnia child.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I'm still a big Narnia girl, but literally it was literally the pandemic that got me interested in Harry Potter.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I ended up on Harry Potter TikTok.
That's so recent.
Yeah. Everyone said it's crazy. Yeah.
Wait, I love this for you.
I know. And then when I came to Orlando, I was like, oh yeah, we'll go to Universal. And then I was like, wait, this is so cute. Like, I get to dress up, and it's like, ooh, I am like at Hogwarts.
The like interactive wand.
Yep. And then I was like, okay, we gotta buy the wand. We gotta do the thing. And now it's like my favorite thing to do is going to Universal and playing Harry Potter.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that for you. That this is so recent.
I know.
I had no idea.
Literally, I'm like, I discovered it at like 22. I'm like, wow.
You're like, where have I been?
Literally. I remember watching like one of the movies briefly with the little girls I used to babysit and being like, I don't know what's going on.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you. So let's move on over to the Disney side a little bit. I would love to know your favorite Disney film.
So, my favorite Disney film, shocker, is Tangled. Big surprise.
Rapunzel, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Roll credits. Yes.
It's my whole episode, my whole identity.
Is Rapunzel and Tangled. Exactly. Yes.
Why?
So, I remember the first time I watched it, and it was such like a random offhanded like moment. I was just like having a sleepover with my neighbor, and we were like, oh, let's watch this. And it was kind of when I was like aging out of like Disney. I remember I think I was like in like 8th grade, and I was kind of like, ooh, I'm in high school now. Like, I don't need this stuff. But I remember watching the movie and being like, oh my God. And like it gave me that like childhood nostalgia, because when I was little, my favorite was Sleeping Beauty, and I would just like sit there, and the amount of times I rewounded that VHS tape and watched Sleeping Beauty and Prince Philip like dance in the clouds, that was like the feeling that it gave me of that like childhood nostalgia, and I was like, oh my god, I love this.
I love that so much. Punzi is John's favorite princess.
She's an icon.
Yeah, she is. She's an icon. We love Punzi in this house. So let's get into the hard-hitting Disney questions, okay? We're gonna do our lightning round. Okay. And John is gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, and we are just gonna have all of the Disney tea spilled.
Okay.
Right here and now, everyone.
Okay.
So if you want to skip a question, just say skip.
Okay.
And we will talk about anything that you want to talk about afterwards, but we'll try and get through as many in the 2 minutes as we can. Good? All right. First question. Which Disney villain could you be in a committed relationship with?
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Hades?
Fair.
He'd keep things interesting.
Wishes or Happily Ever After?
Happily Ever After. No hesitation.
Least favorite Disney film?
I don't really like The Lion King that much.
Yeah,
I know.
Favorite Disney World show?
Mickey's Real Friendship Fair. Ugh.
Rip. Favorite Disney park?
Epcot. Epcot trash.
Favorite Disney villain?
My favorite, Maleficent.
She's a good villain. Mm-hmm. Favorite Harry Potter couple?
I would say probably Luna and Neville, even though I heard that that's like not really confirmed, but like alluded to.
Yeah, I heard that they like don't stay together.
What the heck?
I know, which is really sad. I'm not choosing to believe that. That's not my narrative.
That's not the story.
Favorite Pixar film?
Luca. It used to be Ratatouille, but then Luca rocked my world.
Luca changed the game. Favorite Universal park?
I really like Islands of Adventure.
Favorite Harry Potter character?
I would say Luna. Ravenclaw Queen.
Facts. Underrated Disney film?
Underrated? Is the Aristocats underrated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like people don't even know what that film is anymore.
So sad.
Which land do you start in Magic Kingdom?
Fantasyland. I just go straight back.
Same. Favorite Disney kiss?
I mean, the boat scene.
The lantern.
Lanterns.
Why did I even ask that question? Dumb. If you could have any country added to World Showcase, what would it be?
The Ukraine.
Why?
I have like a very niche interest in Ukraine, and like I was obsessed with this Ukrainian show that was on Amazon Prime, and literally it was like in all subtitles, and it was like this niche that I went through in 2020, and now I like really want to go there and visit.
That's so fun. Out of all the countries, I would have never
It's so niche.
expected you to say that.
It's so random, and everyone's always like, what? The Ukraine? And I'm like, I don't know, it just really interests me.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That would be, now I'm like thinking about that. Cause like all I can picture is like Russia.
Yeah.
Like the Russian like the buildings that they're really known for with like the colorful like tops of them. But I don't even know if the Ukraine has that.
I feel like
feel like they do.
At least in I feel like they must.
Yeah, I feel like there's some like cultural crossover.
Yeah.
There. That actually would be that would be so cool.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. We just need to spice it up, and that would be my pick. Personally.
I definitely feel like Eastern European is like the representation is very missing in the World Showcase for that part of the world.
That and like the random like Africa section that's like a bunch of just like huts.
The Africa Pavilion really stresses me out because I don't think it should be there.
No. First of all, Africa's a continent.
Yeah, and it's nothing. So it's like, okay, either be fully something or
don't be anything
we should
at all.
do something else. And also we have the whole section in Animal Kingdom.
But yeah.
So I feel like they should replace that.
Something.
I also am a very big advocate of them replacing the US pavilion.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a dicey subject for some people,
No.
but I'm like, we have the whole Liberty Square in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And we're literally in America. The real country of it.
Yeah, like
so
like how many fake model size Americas do we need inside of Disney World?
Exactly.
Like there's Dinoland USA.
Exactly. So I feel
and then
like
there's Hollywood Boulevard, and it's like Sunset
a
Boulevard.
lot of America representation here.
Well,
I feel like we don't.
It was
need...
Walt's dream.
Yeah. I feel like we don't need that pavilion, but you know what? It's fine. I feel like one of the questions that you said really stuck out to me, but I can't remember. Oh no. Did you catch it?
Was it that I don't like The Lion King?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It was never like a childhood one for me. Like I was big Aristocats, 101 Dalmatians, Sleeping Beauty, Alice in Wonderland. I was never into like the like 80s. Like I was like the golden age. Like I don't know. I also don't think we had the VHS tapes, and I just didn't grow up watching it. And so then when I saw it when I was older, I was like,
I feel like you saying you think Lion King is pretty overrated is very like fighting words for a lot of people.
No, yeah. It's like my DCP roommates loved the Festival of the Lion King show, and like they would have to like drag me in there. Like literally
That's a hardcore, because the Lion King, I would rank it. It probably wouldn't make my list of like top 10 Disney movies for me, but that show slaps.
It's cute. It's just it's not my I know.
It slaps. It's so good.
I can appreciate that it's like really like beautiful. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's like I would rather sit in front of the castle and watch Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair all 5 shows.
It's so good. I miss that show.
It's coming back soon.
I know, but not soon enough.
I know.
All they say is 2022.
I'm like December 2022.
Okay, well we're here now.
Yep.
So whenever you want to show back up.
Literally.
No, and you mentioned Aristocats again. That jogged my memory. I saw a girl on Instagram. I can't even remember who it was, but she had an Aristocat sweater on. And she was like, I went to the park and bought alcohol. And the cast member, she was like, do you want my ID? And the cast member was like, no, you're wearing an Aristocat sweatshirt. Nobody under the age of 21 knows what that movie is.
Was she wrong? Like,
it's
no.
True. It's sad, but true. And I just, like, looked at that and I was like, well, dang.
I have an Aristocat shirt.
Facts.
Not gonna get carded at Epcot now.
I'm just like, I'm gonna wear my Marie backpack every time I go.
Who do these people think that Marie's from? Because, like, Marie's still on it.
It's like
stuff.
poppin'.
They're probably like, oh, it's the
Just
white cat.
one random white cat.
Oh, that's like the unicorn. There's all that like unicorn merch, and like me and my roommates constantly have a fight whether it's from Inside Out or Toy Story 3.
I thought it was Toy Story 3.
Apparently, there's the unicorn could be from. There's all that unicorn stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like
the
the
white
unicorn
one with
lounge
like the
flag.
rainbow horn.
Apparently, it might be from Inside Out, but I thought it was from Toy Story.
Oh, I thought it was from Toy Story as well.
Apparently, the rainbow.
I've only watched Inside Out once.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a unicorn.
I don't remember a unicorn either.
But that's like a hot topic. Whenever
that
I see it,
unicorn?
we're like, what is it? And then we're like, is it this? Is it that? I don't know.
It's for the kids. Yeah. It's not for us.
It's not for us.
Just like the newly revived Aristocats merch is not for the kids.
No.
It's for us.
It is
apparently. For us. It's for the elderly.
Yep.
Yes, and I love how you quickly threw wishes under the bus and was like, oh, happily ever after. I feel like that was one of the main things that we really bonded over was when Disney murdered happily ever after.
Yeah. Wishes for me, like, I'm not a big fireworks person in general, so I was like, ooh, I'll just ride the rides during Wishes. But then I saw Happily Ever After, and it changed the game for me.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw Happily Ever After, I was like, it's got a lot of big shoes to fill because I loved Wishes. And I saw it and I cried and I was like, Wishes who?
It's just, oh my gosh. And then it was like during my program, that was like the show we had. So like the first night I was a cast member, we watched it. And the last night I was a cast member, we watched it. And then I watched it on the last night of it ever.
Yes.
And literally just like sobbed into my I Lava You float.
Literally. John was with us when we watched it for the last time. And he was like, I was not okay. And we went the second to last night because I knew it was going to be a madhouse the last night. And I was like, I don't know if I... You did both?
I went both nights.
I love that for you.
I like busted my butt after work. It's like all the way from downtown.
I live. Oh my gosh. That's when I met Color Me Courtney. So like that was fun. But
exciting.
Yeah. But I was not okay. And there's just this video of me, like, my makeup's smeared, and I'm, like, eating a Mickey ice cream bar and just crying, and I'm like, I hate them forever for taking this away from us.
And they didn't even replace it with anything good.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
The slander is here for disenchantment.
Yeah, I love what you said about it, that it was, like, a 20-minute Moana fan edit. And I was like, it's so true,
I was like, why is there so much Moana? Like, don't get me wrong, Moana's cool and all, but, like, we had a lot of her.
And, like, the voice in Happily Ever After is so inspiring.
It, like, tells
and then the
story.
Voice in Enchantment is so creepy.
Like, what is the story of Enchantment?
I don't even know.
You're the magic, and this is Moana.
And also... if it's your 50th anniversary show, why does it say nothing about 50 years?
The pandemic?
What?
I feel like if the pandemic didn't happen, the 50th that we would have been...
oh, it would have slapped.
Literally.
Absolutely. But if you don't have a really poppin' 50th show... then keep Happily Ever After.
Why couldn't they have done Happily Ever After 50th Spectacular?
They absolutely could have.
Threw in like a little extra pizzazz or whatever.
And they absolutely could have.
And there's nothing about...
and done the whole like Main Street thing with Happily Ever After.
There's nothing about Walt. There's nothing about Mickey in the 50th. It's just...
I know.
It's wrong.
I know. Definitely fell flat. If you wanted a whole episode about how much we hate Enchantment, whatever it's called. Welcome.
You're on the
welcome. You found the right place.
Podcast.
It's our spinoff podcast where me and Rachel just get together every week and
slander,
say the same things about Enchantment over and over again. So you mentioned your DCP. Let's start off with that. What inspired you to do a DCP? Kind of tell us like where you were placed in the parks, what your role was, all that good jazz.
So another thing, Disney wasn't really like my childhood growing up, like going to Disney World. Like I loved the movies, but my parents were always like, we're not going there. It's expensive and dirty and the lines are long. And I was like, okay. And so for my 18th birthday, I actually got to go to Disney World, and that like changed the game for me. I was like, how do I get to go here as much as I want? And so I was like, did some research, found out that the DCP existed, and I was a marketing major in college, so I could get credit for it. So I just applied, and I really wanted to be a character attendant or in PhotoPass. And I expressed that a lot during my interview. And they gave me character attendant, which was great. So
that is so fun.
Yeah. It was fun, but also crazy. People get crazy for characters.
Wait, tell us like the most crazy thing.
The most crazy thing, I think would probably have to be the first Halloween party of the year in 2018. I was with Turk and Tarzan and Jane, and sometimes Turk has to go get his bananas, and he has to do that pretty frequently.
Uh-huh.
And a guest was upset that it was just Tarzan and Jane there, and he was mouthing off to this other guest, and then they started getting into an altercation, and then he told the girl that I was working with, my other attendant, like, when do you get off of work, like, and got in her face. And so we go on and we're like, can we get like security over to the treehouse? And yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but it was pretty wild for the first Halloween party of the year. It was like my first party event.
Oh my gosh. So were you assigned to like hang out with the same character all the time, or did you like rotate?
It was week to week. So basically you would get your schedule, and the shift, you could have like any location. So basically character attendants are like universally trained. So I was status at Magic Kingdom, so it was always a Magic Kingdom shift, but I would go through phases. Like there was this one week in October where I literally got Merida every single day. But then after October, I don't think I ever got scheduled a Merida shift like ever again. It was so
weird.
I don't know what algorithm they used to make that schedule, but it was so random. But luckily there was like a Facebook group so you could trade shifts. Because a lot of the ones that I didn't like were ones that were like people really liked. So like I never wanted to do Gaston or Peter Pan because they're such popular characters that people just like, the guests go crazy for them, and I was like, that's too stressful for me. I liked more like chill vibes. Resorts were like my fave. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I love the hustle and the bustle and go 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 go, and I'm like, I'm more of like a chill.
You're like, I can hang out at the Poly with Stitch. It's fine.
Literally. Exactly. I'm like, do you want my Gaston shift? Yeah, I'll take your random resort dining shift. I would love to. Thank you so much.
So what are like your main jobs as a character attendant?
So you basically are like controlling the entire attraction of the character. So you're creating the line, keeping the line in check, closing the line when it needs to be closed. Also, you're communicating with the performer when they need to leave. If they have 5 minutes left, 10 minutes left, it's time to go. If you have a photo pass, it's always great to have an extra set of hands, but you're taking photos for guests, you're telling them to have their autograph books out, you're giving out pens, like you're literally doing the most at all times. So
is it typically just one attendant per character or per like meet and greet?
So it depends on the shift. It's usually between 1 and 2, depending on like how much hands on deck you need, really. So like that Halloween party shift was 2 character attendants because they knew that the volume, they needed someone to be with the line and someone to be with the characters. But like at Princess Fairy Tale Hall, you're in a room in an enclosed space. There's just one for both of whatever princesses you're in the room with.
Right. That's so fun. That's such a fun job.
It was like a wild ride, but wouldn't change it for the world. I got to do a lot of cool things, especially like castle show shifts and like going into like the castle show dressing room.
Wait, that's so fun.
And like Cinderella's royal table stuff. I rode in the elevator that goes up to the castle suite, but I never got to go up to the castle suite, but I've been in the elevator.
But that's super cool.
Yeah, it's designed to look like Cinderella's carriage. And typically there's like these like big blue blankets hanging so like nothing bumps into it, but when they have guests they take the blankets down and it's like so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So did you do just a semester?
So I did the Fall Advantage program, so I was May 2018 to January 2019.
That's a long stretch.
It was like 8 months.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really long stretch.
Yeah.
That's so fun. And then I'm sure like everybody else who has done the DCP, you've made such amazing friends along the way.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about, I've had some friends do the DCP and some of them are very much like, it made me love Disney even more. Like I have a whole new appreciation for it. And then other friends are like, it completely ruined it for me. And if I only go back like once in my life, then it's fine. So what do you think? How do you think the program altered your perception of the parks?
Yeah, I think it honestly didn't ruin anything for me. Obviously, I still go to the park like, every weekend. But it did like open my eyes to like some cool stuff that I didn't know about, and like kind of feeling like you have the inside scoop. I will say it's much more relaxing visiting the park as a guest because, you know, even when you're a CP and you're on your day off, like I feel like you're still like, well, who's over there today, and like who's working, and you're like, well, that's over there, and now I'm just like, nah, I'm a guest. I'll do whatever I want. Like,
I'm just gonna live my life.
Mickey, I do not work for you anymore. Love you, buddy, but I'm on my own.
Yeah, that's so fun. I'm so glad that it hasn't really changed. I don't know. It always kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
When people were like, yeah, it like really ruined it for me.
I know a lot. I know like a handful of people that they were like,
yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
sad.
I'm like, you just got to take it like for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, I feel like you can't go into that program thinking that like
it's all sunshine and
it's
rainbows.
the best thing ever.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, I like to say it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. You're like, it's like the ultimate sugar high of 8 months of just like going crazy, working odd hours, but then like frolicking in the Disney parks with your best friends.
Yeah.
But then like having to go work 13 hours the next day.
I could not do it. Blair, you just made yourself at home, didn't you? Blairy, this is why we close the door on you when we record. Come on. Please keep all of this in. Blair, you can't sit here with us.
He wants attention.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with... Look, she's like... I'm like pushing her off. She won't go. Okay, well then sit right here. Okay. So let's talk about... So your first time at Disney was at 18.
I went when I was like 6 months old.
Okay.
But we don't count that because I don't remember it.
We don't count that. I mean, that's fair. So when was your first time at Universal?
I actually went to Universal when I was probably like 6 or 7.
Okay.
I had family in Florida, and for some reason, we weren't going to go to Disney, but we went to Universal.
Okay, which...
My family are not Disney people at all.
My family are not theme park people.
No.
And it shows.
My mom doesn't even like rides. Like, my dad likes rides decently, but my mom's like petrified of rides. I don't know why we were going to any theme park, but we went to Universal.
Okay.
Probably in like the early 2000s.
Okay. And did you enjoy it, or?
So, I remember really loving Shrek 4D, R.I.P. And the Jimmy Neutron ride, also R.I.P.
Yeah.
I'm literally just going to date myself with all the rides that I talk about. So, I remember we went on the Jaws ride. R.I.P.
Was I not talking about how much the Jaws ride slapped the other day? I am so upset that they got rid of it.
And mind you, so I was probably like 7 or 8. So we go on the Jaws ride, and I was like, okay, like that was a little bit scary.
I was about to say, you were terrified.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I like that, but like it's over now. We're all good. So then we got in line for the earthquake ride, also R.I.P.
I don't know about that one, because that one definitely traumatized me.
So we get on that, and then I'm like, that was like even more scarier. Like I'm not comfy right now. I'm not good.
Yeah.
So then my parents were like, let's go on the Twister ride. Also R.I.P. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to go on that. And they were like, no, we're going on it. So we waited in line for however long we waited in line. Then we got to the pre-show room. And that's when I just like lost my shit and had to be backdoored out of the ride. And
I too had a moment like that. Yes.
And then they were like, well, why didn't you tell us you didn't want to go on the ride? I was like, I did.
Oh my gosh. Times. I remember the cow that just like flies. I just had that traumatic moment of the cow like flying towards me, and I'm like, not the cow.
I just vividly remember on the earthquake ride, the like oil truck coming down from the ground, and you could like feel the heat from the fire.
Yes.
And I was like traumatized.
That part traumatized me too. That's like the only memory I have of that ride. I don't know why it stuck with me. Maybe it was the heat. I have no idea.
I just remember being like terrified.
Same.
And then my parents stopped making me go on rides, and I met Curious George.
See, that's much more pleasant.
Literally. All I want to do is meet Curious George.
Yeah, I remember when we would come to Disney, we would always block out one day for Universal. And I remember being, I can't remember how old I was, like maybe like 12 or 13. And I remember being like, Mom, like next time I'd rather just spend the extra day like on, like we don't even have to go to a park. Like I'd just rather spend it on Disney property. Like I don't think it's worth it to go to Universal. And then like 2 years later, they announced Harry Potter, and I was like,
we're going to Universal. Pack your bags.
I was like, cool. Awesome. Awesome. Guess we have to go to Universal now. We have no excuse.
Nope.
But honestly, that's really all I do when we go there now. I'm like, it's the Harry Potter for me.
Yeah, to be fair, I do spend most of my time in either of the Harry Potter sections, especially now that Shrek 4D is gone.
I know.
That and Velocicoaster.
I feel like I like always try and make it a priority to ride E.T.
I don't think I've ever rode E.T. I don't like the movie E.T. though. That freaked me out as a kid.
Oh, then you will not like the ride.
I didn't think so.
You will not like the ride. Pre-pandemic, I don't know why they're not doing it right now, but pre-pandemic, the little ride car, it's like Peter Pan.
Okay.
So you're like suspended over everything, but you're at your own little bike. And so you like hold onto your handlebars and you're like riding your bike around like space. And before the pandemic, they had like this animatronic ET that would pop out of the basket and like turn around and say you by name. So you'd like, you would
what?
You would register your name with the seat that you were sitting in. And so at the end of the ride, he would be like, "Thank you, Rachel."
That's horrifying.
So you would definitely not like that ride if you are terrified of ET. So maybe don't do that. I think he's adorable, but that's just me. So moving on to kind of the whole reason why I started this season of the show is that we are in like a super divisive time, and I feel like anytime it is being discussed about people that are different than you, it's always like a negative thing. Yeah. And I feel like the one place where diversity is celebrated and welcomed, and it kind of doesn't matter what your other views are, we have this like shared love of Disney.
Yeah.
And that's really what brings us together, especially living in Orlando and being a part of the Disney community. And granted, I know that every community has like its drama and all that, but no matter like what walk of life you come from, you could find it at the parks.
Oh yeah.
And so it's very fascinating to me that we can disagree on a lot.
Yeah.
But we all go to this one place and we have such a magical time. And so I would love just to hear from you, what about Disney do you think brings us all together?
Yeah, I think it's just like the fact that you can just embrace your inner child. Mm-hmm. Like you can just go to the parks and like be a kid. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't matter. Like you're not gonna go to Disney and like have people like judging you.
Yeah.
And if you are, like, why are you at Disney sitting like judging people?
Right.
Like get out.
Right.
Have a Mickey bar and like put your happy face on.
Lose
the tude. Like no. It's just like, if you want to go there and wear a like full princess ball gown, like have at it. If you want to go in biker shorts and a giant Mickey t-shirt and look like a drowned rat and ride Splash Mountain 15 times in a row, do that. I would. Like,
is that me on the weekends? Yes.
Like, it's just like fun and magical, and you can just kind of leave the worries at the door and just have fun and just embrace that inner child. Mm-hmm. I feel like people are so eager to be like, I'm an adult and I have responsibilities, and like that's for kids, or like those are Disney adults. And it's like, people like what they like. They're like, we're not hurting anyone.
Right.
Like, we have our little theme park.
Why do you think people love to hate Disney adults?
I'm going to get a little sassy.
I live for that. Get
like,
it, sassy
I think
Rachel.
It's like, I mean, I feel like they wish they had something that they liked that much. Like, there's this book that my friend recommended to me called Fair Play, and it's like a lifestyle book about how to navigate life, and it talks about this thing called the unicorn card, where it's basically like a special interest that you do for yourself, and like in order to be fulfilled in life, you need to have this unicorn card. And like for a lot of people, Disney is their unicorn card. It's their special interest that they do because it's fun and they do it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like people who are missing that like fun aspect of like something that they do for themselves because it just makes them feel happy are like so quick to be like,
yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a topic that is very on brand for the pod, but I don't really talk about a lot in episodes. But you're wearing your T-Swift cardigan, I just have to because I feel like this is another one of the things that we bonded so much on, especially because the day that we did the princess shoot was like the day after.
Yeah, because it was a Sunday, right?
I think so.
And it came out that Friday at midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red
TV. Yep.
And I feel like we just bonded over that. And we have to talk about your iconic reel. We would be doing our listeners a disservice if we did not talk about this reel.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So tell us the story of your Red TV All Too Well TikTok.
Yeah. So I saw that it was like a trend to do a TikTok to the 10-minute version of All Too Well, you know, the little, and you were tossing me the car keys part. So I was at Magic Kingdom with Allie. Shout out to Allie. And we were filming the TikTok, and it was the first take. And I was like, ooh, I should stand right next to the fence at the back of Cinderella Castle, right by the moat, get a nice, beautiful shot of me, you know, for the TikTok clout. And we do this first thing, and I go, and you were tossing me the car keys, and my car keys just go clean over my shoulder into the moat. And we got it on camera. And multiple people saw, and on camera you can hear someone go, what just went over? And I go, my car keys. Luckily, I have OCD and I have a spare car key on me at all times because I have a fear of something like that happening, and it happened. Which just like perpetuated the idea that it's going to happen again. But
absolutely. Yeah,
so then we got a cast member, and I was like, so theoretically, if someone was filming a TikTok
and threw their keys in
the water, would we be able to retrieve them? And he was like, I don't know about that. It was escalated to the duty manager of Magic Kingdom, and they could not, in fact, retrieve them.
So your keys are at the bottom of Cinderella's moat.
And it's my key fob, too. So I just have a valet key now, so I can't unlock my car from a distance. So
did you have keychains on it?
No, so I took my key off.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because like house keys, office keys.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, someone was looking out for me.
Absolutely.
Someone wasn't looking out for me because they ended up
someone
in the
was
moat.
doing a half job at it, but
at least I had my house keys and my like CVS Care rewards card. I need that too. Like,
so how nervous were you to do a second take of Allie tossing you the other car keys?
So I said, we're not going to film it in front of the water. We turned completely the other way around. And it took about like 8 more takes for me to actually catch them, because it's not even completely her fault. Like, she overshot it a little bit, but I can't catch anything.
Right.
I didn't think things through.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, if they ever drain the moat, maybe they'll call me.
I'm coming for my CVS card.
I was like, well, if you'll let me down there, like, I'll take my shoes off and go climb. And he was like, I can't do that. And I was like, that's fair, but
you were like, it was worth a shot.
It was worth a shot.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I thought the TikTok was very cute.
Yeah.
And then I commented, I was like, OMG, so cute. And you were like, you don't even know that.
And you know what? Taylor Swift didn't even reach out to me about it.
So, like, rude.
Yeah. Taylor, I lost my car keys for you.
Taylor, if you're listening to this.
You owe me a set of car keys.
We know you're our number one fan.
Yeah.
You owe Rachel a car key fob.
Thank you, Miss Swift.
Thank you. So I would love to know your favorite T Swift album and your favorite T Swift song.
So my favorite T Swift album is actually Red. So that's why I was so excited for Red TV. I was like, I'm getting my favorite album second in the re-record lineup.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
It was pretty exciting. And my favorite Taylor Swift song up until recent times was Holy Ground. But
that's such a good song.
Illicit Affairs rocked my world. Even though I'm an Evermore over folklore girly, Illicit Affairs for some reason like did something, changed my body chemistry, and just
altered me.
Yeah, I'm a different person because I listened to Illicit Affairs.
That's fair. So last question that I want to end off this episode with is I would love to know about a time in your life where you're like, this is the most basic thing I've ever done.
So I went on a trip in summer of 2017 to Disney. And I made the cast member at the Starbucks on Main Street write Princess Rachel on my pink drink. And I took a picture on Main Street of my Princess Rachel pink drink in front of the castle. And I think that just basic.
That really is. That might be in the running for the most basic answer we've gotten on this podcast.
I literally was like, could you please write Princess Rachel on it? Thank you.
But like low-key, that's super cute. And like now I kind of want to do it too.
It's iconic. It goes, well, that was when the castle wasn't pink. But I feel like it'd be even
now it
prettier
would be even more aesthetic with the pink drink and the pink castle.
Mm-hmm.
Pink and blue castle or blue and white castle?
Blue and white castle.
Okay.
I don't mind. I'm not going to slander it. It's not enchantment.
Yeah.
But they can revert it back once we're all done with the 50th stuff. I would enjoy that. Because it's what makes it unique to us. I feel like. That's fair. It's Cindy's castle. It's not Aurora's.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like a lot of people have very strong opinions about blue and pink castle. I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I just don't want her to be here forever.
I also think it's like a lot more whimsical than blue and white. Like I feel like you would find blue and white in like as an actual real castle, you know? And the blue and pink makes it like very fairy tale. But you're right.
I like to think that Cindy is a little bit more tasteful than Aurora.
She just called Aurora tacky.
I mean, Aurora's like my fave, but like Cindy's like a little bit more like
prim.
Yeah.
And proper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
Aurora's running barefoot in the woods.
Yeah. She's just living her best life with the owls.
Yep.
So Rachel, I would love for you to tell the Magical Basics where they can find you and follow you.
You can find me at Rachpunzel on Instagram with 2 L's because someone has Rachpunzel with 1 L.
Rude.
They have like 50 followers and haven't used their account since 2018.
Rude.
Yep. And also, if you want to check out the reel, it's on TikTok as well, also at Rachpunzel.
Yeah, definitely go watch the reel.
Yeah.
I'll try and be mindful about sharing it to the stories when your episode comes out.
Yes.
That way I can be like, just revert back to the stories.
To the reel.
I'll try and do that with the Princess Fit if you haven't seen that one as well. And then the car keys reel. You have to put the blooper on. You really should post the blooper.
I think I should post the blooper.
I really think you should. I think it would, 1, get a lot of traction because it's funny, but 2, just for the memes.
It's what the people want.
It's what the people truly want. So definitely follow Rachel on Instagram and TikTok and reach out to her. And yeah, thank you so much for being on the pod today, Rachel.
Thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow the pod and let me know what you thought of today's episode. All of our links are in the show notes and description box down below. And if you're listening to today's episode, please give us a rate and review, and don't forget to include your Instagram handle to be featured as our basic of the week. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I upload new episodes on Wednesday and other videos for more Magic Mondays. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Until then, Basics, stay magical.